Hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with Diva D. How you doing? Now, come on in. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I know how it is for me when I'm watching my favorite content creators and I'm sitting at my desk at work. Don't tell nobody. And I be damn. Of course, I don't want them to know that I've signed in to YouTube. So it's kind of hard to like because they want YouTube, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They won't allow you to like unless you signed in. But if you are signed in and you watching my video, please hit the like button. I know it can sometimes be a hassle when you want to get right on into the content and watch it. I know I'm a connoisseur. I'm not just the person that does content. I'm a connoisseur. I love content, which leads me up to this argument, and it's going to be very quick. I'm going to talk about Tasha K and the Bondy Blue blow up. Now I haven't really been talking about it. I've been thinking about it, but I hadn't had the real chance to just dive into it because I had surgery. So I've been in a little bit of pain. But I do want to just touch on it just a little bit. Okay, so we have two, to me, giant content creators that do similar things, but very separate. Okay? Um, let's get right on into it. Let's talk about what I believe Bonnie does and what I believe Tasha K does. Bondy is perfection to me. Bunny will tell you who's gay. A lot of people don't like that. I was like, do I have a little crush on Bunny? Because she's a very beautiful woman to me. And I was like, shoot, am I gay? But then I realized, I was like, I'm not, but she's attractive, And the thing about women is, I realized that you're not gay if you can recognize the beauty in another woman and another woman being attractive. So then we have Tasha K. Tasha K is Tasha K. I mean, she's not gay. And because of my psychological experience in psychology, studying the world of psychology, I'm more understanding of gay people. I understand how homosexuality works. I understand the dynamics of homosexuality, but it's it's a very complex thing, and a lot of things offend homosexual people, right? So, and now it seems like they are overly sensitive. Am I correct in that? I mean, is that a good observation for those of us who are straight? To us, it seems that they are overly sensitive. And the reason why I try not to be so critical of them being sensitive is because I know I'm sensitive of my race. So they're protecting two things. They're protecting their race. Some are protecting their gender. And then, you are also protecting your sexuality. And that's just what it is. And so Bondy Blue, and she was on her show. And I saw the show because I'm a huge Bondy Blue fan, or whatever you want to call me, follower, fan, whatever. I follow her on Instagram. I follow her on, and then you could get, the reason why I follow her on Instagram is because she'll get on the Instagram and she won't have as many people in her chat. And she seems more relatable on Instagram than she is on YouTube or on her Facebook. I follow on Facebook as well. I don't follow Tasha K on any of those platforms anymore. If I catch a Tasha K show, I just catch the show. I'm not intrigued or interested or excited about seeing her. A lot of content creators I found, like I said, during the pandemic. I think the first person that I really just started watching was Richie Sky. Then, by happenstance, I heard a loud woman and spinning around in a chair drinking wine, and it was Tasha K. And I was like, oh, okay, I like her. I like I like her content. I hope y'all didn't hear that, but I did have my mouth closed, but you know how those work. I had drunk something before I got on. You have to wet your whistle so you won't have to, when you talking, you have to wet your whistle when you're talking. But anyway, and I was like, oh, I like her. I like her content. Then she got off into the Cardi B stuff, and I just felt like it was just too salacious for my taste. My best friend, who passed away, she loved Tasha K, and Bondy would, fill in for Tasha K at times, and she just did not get into Bondy, and I could not understand. Now, I know you have your own taste and thing, so I was like, I just didn't get her not liking Bondy on Tasha K, but you have someone who is filling in for someone who is very out there. And that's not what you used to. But the only thing, and another reason why I couldn't get with my best friend not liking the feeling is because Tasha is, like I said, very salacious. And the things that she say seem so wild and so, she seemed like she got that I got you commentary. And it just doesn't appeal to me. And it used to, I've always thought that it didn't appeal to my best friend either because I would read the Inquirer growing up, and her ass be like looking down on me for reading the Inquirer. I was like a big Inquirer fan. And a lot of people who from that era who does content are fans of the Inquirer. If you know, you know. But and a lot of times what was in the Inquirer was true, right? And maybe a lot of times what Tasha K say is true too. But she had been caught in so many lies. Yeah. And when the Inquirer was caught in lies, they would either get sued or they would win. Right? But she had been caught in so many lies, and the stubbornness of her not taking down the Cardi B videos just was insane to me. Why not? Then dealing with Bondy Blue, Bondy would say, if you really watch Bondy, you know her, but you go over there and just, catch that little one thing that she said about the homophobia. You'll run and tell Tasha K what she said, but Bondy had been critiquing her. She had been saying, Tasha, you got all these followers. Don't hurt your brand by keeping these videos up. If Bondy would be like, if old girl write me an email and tell me to take down the videos and that's all she wanted me to do, I'm taking them down. But nobody got mad about that. You get mad about sexuality. And I've said many times, I don't give two shakes of a rattlesnake's ass, and that's me being open about how you feel about me saying sis. I don't like to be called sis. I don't like to be for me being a natural born woman, I don't like to put sis in front of my name. Just like, and with trans women, I call them women, and I call them trans women. But you don't have to distinguish what type of woman I am. You don't have to put sis in front of my name. You know I was a natural born woman. Trans women are women who were men at one point. Born men. You are born the gender that you are. Science knows that. You can't change science. Whether you mentally, emotionally believe that you are that other thing. Science, you can't change what science made you. Yes, you can transform your genitalia because your genitalia always started out as female. So yes, you can revert back to what you were. Same thing with, and that's why it's harder to go from um, male to female because you're having to split an actual appendage that comes out of you that was once female. You know, you have your um, female body parts. I'm just gonna say your lower extremities. You have those, and then you actually have to split, cut, whatever. When it's male, when it's female to male, all you gotta do is pull down. It's fact. All you have to do is pull down the clitoris. It's very small, but there's your penis. So the surgery is not as um, hard or painful or as much healing that has to be done when it's female to male. That's just what it is. Um, a lot of people don't want to go with science. A lot of people want to go with creationism, and you believe that you came out of a rib and you were female to male or male to female. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Well, let's just come out of creationism and start after Eve started having babies, if you want to put it that way. You want to believe in creationism and you came out of a rib, let's start with the punishment of females having babies. When females start having babies, everything is flat inside the woman's body until genitalia starts to form. That's why it takes up to 3 to 4 months before you can recognize what's the sex of the baby. Said all that to say, it is, to me, very disrespectful to a person. To me. Just like a lot of people don't feel like I should have a problem with people saying sis. Well, just don't put sis in front of my name. If a woman doesn't mind being called a cisgender woman, that's fine. I mind. You can't change what a person feels personally. You can't. That's how they feel. That's what they want to be called, just like a trans woman wants to be called a woman. And I respect your boundaries in that area. So respect mine. But the thing about Tasha that's different to me is that she seems very disrespectful when she does. It's always like in a dig way. If she's talking about T.S. Madison, it's like she's digging at her. It's like, I'm better than you because I'm a woman. And then it seemed like to me she did the same thing to Bondy. I'm better than you because I have kids. You say these things like they're insults. And then she'll say she's not homophobic. But don't call yourself homophobic then. Just say you're prejudiced. You don't want to be called homophobic because you're not scared of gay people? Or you're not scared of trans people? Then call yourself what you are. You're prejudiced. I'd rather be called homophobic than prejudiced because that translates into race or goes over into race. But that's what you are. That the homophobia to me is just a fancy word of saying prejudice. But she wouldn't think that she's prejudiced because she hired Bondy Blue, a bisexual woman. Well, you might not have been prejudiced against Bondy Blue, but your prejudices show when you talk about Storm Monroe, when you talk about T.S. Madison. Every single time you get into it with somebody like that, and Storm said he's not gay, so there's that. Every single time she gets into it with someone who is gay, same thing about Doodle Brown, Michelle A.T.L.E. and Brown. They got to bring up that their T.S. Madison was a man. Maybe men care about that more than women. Or maybe other people who are closed-minded care about that more than other people. I don't get to chase up rattlesnake's ass. I don't. I just feel like people should live how they want. That's the problem with the American government now. Republicans always are saying that they don't want to be having too many regulations. How Democrats are too much into people's personal business. But what they're saying is they're into people's too much personal business for as finances go. Because I've never seen an administration that's more into someone's personal business than the current administration. You want people in the Bible. You want people, but yet and still supporting Israel. I don't even understand the contradiction there, because you know that they don't follow any Christian doctrine at all. But that's neither here nor there. It's more contradictions. You want people not to have aborts. That's in your business. People should live their lives how they want. Do I believe in aborts? Not personally. But if you want to do that, that's your business. If you want to become male to female, female to male, that's your business. Why do you as an individual care so much what I do? If I don't want to read the Bible, I don't want to read the Bible. All these freedoms are supposed to be ours in this country. But they get on TV and they say they want smaller government, but regulating women's bodies. Regulating how you decide that you want to go, if you want to go to war, because it's still spending billions of dollars on crabs. So many contradictions. Say you're Christian, but yet and still voting for a man who pretty much through Christian principles way on out the window. I don't believe in Christianity. I'm not a religious person, but I understand Christianity and I understand the Bible. And a lot of things that are in the Bible, they don't follow. So it's just very weird to me how you'll throw the Bible in somebody's face. Because I get into it with people on Facebook all the time. Well, the Bible says that you're not supposed to get aborts. Well, the Bible says you're not supposed to, that should not KILL either. But we at war. And then the president gets on TV. Yeah. That's a report of war. People are gonna die. Like that ain't no big deal. Which your job is to make sure that we are safe and people don't go into unnecessary war without taking somebody out of here. That's neither here nor there. My point is, let people live their lives. Stay out of people's business. And I promise you, you will be a better person for it. Tasha K is lying to me. People don't come after her. They come after me. They come after me. They come after me because I help people. She helped Bondy. Bondy always acknowledges her for helping her. But that doesn't change the way Bondy feels. Bondy is a bisexual woman who feels like Tasha K is homophobic. Excuse me. And why does she feel that way? Because she's saying homophobic shit. If you don't say that, then people won't think that. And people won't say that you're prejudiced. Because I believe they're prejudiced. Prejudiced people teach our children in school since integration. I learned that by getting my contact hours not too long ago. The internal biases that you have as someone who has tried to like Black people or people of other races, those biases are still there internally. And a lot of times they come out. So you have biases against people of trans. And then what irritates me the most about Black people who adopt these patriarchal ideas from Caucasian people. Because remember, you adopt your principles from the Bible, from Caucasian people. You don't want to acknowledge that, but that's what it is. And when people, Black people especially, I just don't like him. I had a friend tell me, I just don't like Luther Vandross no more. They say, why? Well, I found out he was gay. I'm like, but for 40, 50 years, you liked his music. Okay. All of a sudden, it's been solidified that he was gay. Like, we didn't know that. I knew that he was gay the first time I laid eyes on him. So, that's that on that. And I mean, I don't look at people that way or somebody's gay because of various things. I just look at people like, let people live their lives. If you don't like gay people, don't bother them. What are they doing to you? How are they affecting your personal life? And if Tasha K and T.S. Madison just leave each other alone, then it won't be a problem. Now, I am under the impression that Tasha falls out with everybody. She reversed it and said, they fall out with me because I helped them, and then they turn around and backstab me. Okay, look at it from her perspective. They fall out with her. But she has so many proteges and people that she has quote unquote helped that fall out with her. I think it's because she feels that once I help you, you can't say nothing about me. You are beholden unto me. Don't do anything against me once I help you. And I think that's the way her fans feel too. No. If you say something that I need to criticize, especially if you're talking about people in my group, then I need to criticize that. That's just like if my best white friend goes out here and calls a bunch of people ninjas. Because I have a white friend, me and her are tight. But if she goes out and calls a bunch of Black people ninjas, then she come running to me and say, "Ooh, don't I call a bunch of Black people ninjas?" And they whoop my ass. And you know I'm not prejudiced. You know I'm not racist. You may not be racist towards me. Because we're friends. But those Black people that whoop your ass, okay, they whoop your ass. I'll come visit you in the hospital and I hope you're okay. But I'm going to protect my set. And that's just what it is. In that case, I would have to say my set, which is black people, who you call ninjas and whooped your ass, came first. And I don't think when it comes to sexuality, especially with black Christians, I don't think the set comes first. I think sexuality comes first. And then you have a right to look down on somebody just like white people look down on you. So as far as points go, and as far as people go, as between the beef between Tasha K and Bondy Blue, you have Storm, you have Funky, you have T.S. Madison. I mean, big content creators who have fallen out with this person. Sometimes you just have to look in the mirror. It is what it is. On this one, from what I can see, and my observation of the two people that's involved in this beef, I am Team Bondy Blue. That's just what it is. And when it comes to commentary, I can honestly say I rarely watch Tasha K anymore. All that Martell stuff, she was going through that and all that, just completely turned me off. And Tasha K is gonna have her fan base, but to me, it is wrong to be out here in these streets attacking Bondy Blue for her opinion because you think that your person that you like the most helped her. No, Bondy Blue had close to 100,000 followers or subscribers long before she ever sat in Tasha K's chair. And with that, I'm going to close. Come on in. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video. share the video. Because sharing is indeed caring. And what I'm going to do when I close is chunk them up. Deuces.